Welcome to BitBoy Crypto. The best way is...
If you became a millionaire, would you keep working? You know?
I want to tell you guys something. What's going on right now is California's trying to figure out about crypto. My name is Ben. We're talking balls. Welcome to BitBoy Crypto, the People's Channel, home of the BitSquad, the largest and greatest crypto community in all the interwebs. No channel works harder to keep you in the know about crypto. We got a lot of hard-working things going on behind the scenes for you guys right now. About to come out with a lot more videos. We got a special Cardano video for you guys out there, Cardano community tomorrow. We got the Vassal hard fork going on. We're going to tell you why it's important and why you got to pay attention to ADA if you are not paying attention. Guys, my name is Ben. We come to you live every single day at 11:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. And I would like to note we have been on time 2 days in a row. TJ has also been sick 2 days in a row. Y'all do the math. Yeah, we give ourselves claps around here. That's what we do. Not the claps. All right, guys. You know, I actually read a report yesterday. Did you know STDs are out of control in America again, they say?
Yeah, do you know where the biggest hotspot is?
Statesboro, Georgia. Georgia Southern. That's what they always said.
Senior citizens' homes.
Senior citizens.
Yes.
Woo!
Yep, retirement
Golly, when a
communities.
senior citizen talks about her peas, I thought it's talking about what she made for Thanksgiving dinner. But I guess that's not true. I tell you what, that is sketch. Well, I wonder how much it plays into the epidemic of opioids with the senior community. You know, there's a lot of senior citizens who have been put on opioids over the last 10 years that have actually become dependent and have full-blown addiction who never had addiction problems in their entire lives, and they're going through as senior citizens. Or there's like maybe a connection there, you know, getting loose, getting frisky. But I tell you what, we love the Golden Girls. We love the Golden Girls. It's a great show. You've got a friend in me. There you go. Yeah, Betty White. They're all dead now, I believe, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, very sad. Betty White, the last one to go. All right, guys. Today we're gonna be talking about doomsday scenario for Bitcoin. What does this mean? Well, obviously, what does this mean? If there were a 100 BIP raise today, 100 basis points raise at the FOMC meetings, summation, then that would be terrible. We would definitely see things drop dramatically. But I had a tweet on, what is the site where I do tweets?
Tweeter?
Tweet? Friendster. Yeah, I had a tweet on Friendster. And what? No. Okay. Anyways, I had a tweet where I talked about this. Guys, every single time there has been an estimated BIP raise and a potentially higher one, it's always been the estimated. That doesn't mean it's going to continue, but I fully expect a 75 BIP raise today. If I'm wrong, we add that into the data, and now we go forward and we say, okay, now everything's on the table. I am expecting 75 bips, not 100 bips. Now, if we do get a 100 bips raise today, look for Bitcoin to absolutely plummet, potentially make new lows. I do think it's going to hit new lows. I'm hearing a lot of people now discussing where Bitcoin is going. Almost everyone agrees now at this point that what we're going to see is something in the $10,000 to $14,000 range. Look, I'm eyeing right now between $13,500 and $15,000 for a bottom for Bitcoin. Certainly can go lower. We know $10,366 is exactly an 85% drawdown that is traditionally done. But you know, everybody's saying it's going there. That tends to make me believe we might see the top or not even quite touch that range, get close to it. So I'm looking somewhere between 13.5 and 15 right now. When it hits that spot, we need to know we are potentially at a bottom. I don't think that's going to happen today. I don't think we're getting the 100 BIP raise. I think we're getting 75 today. We're going to get a little rally. I don't think we're going to get back above 20, but we could. And I think what we're going to see is, you know, after the midterm elections, we see the plummet, and it's going to go somewhere down in that range. And guys, make sure, God, look at this guy. This guy's saying, no, the bottom is in. Guys, that's hopium. There's no evidence to suggest the bottom is in right now. There's no evidence to suggest it's knocking on bottom's door. That's Bitcoins and roses, I think. But the point is that Bitcoin's not strong right now, guys. I don't know if you see that. Bitcoin is not strong right now. And I think Kelly's going to come up in a little bit. You know, our new BitLab guy. He's going to come up here in a little bit, and he's going to be talking about this and talking about that range, that 13.5 range, why that's an important number, not just what we're seeing with the TA, but we're seeing kind of on-chain as well. Some really interesting stuff. 75% of you got, or 51% of you think we're going to see 75 bips. 37% say 100. 5% have no clue, and 7% think it's going to go below. You know, that's something we haven't really looked at. We haven't looked at a lower number coming in at any point, which could be interesting. But guys, make sure to smash the like button. Number one thing you can do, not only to support the channel, but to support crypto adoption. Get moving on the bandwagon. Let's push crypto. Make sure to hit that like button. If you're watching on mobile, exit out of the live chat, hit the like button. Come back into the live chat. If you're on smart TV, bottom left-hand corner of the screen. More actions, more options. Like this video. And guys, don't forget, if you know people who are newer to crypto, if you're newer to crypto, people who are looking to catch up to crypto, well, I got a great book called Catching Up to Crypto. There it is, Catching Up to Crypto. Look at that cover. I got to give my wife credit. She's the one that picked out the cover. She knows books more than anybody else, and she's like, that's a great cover. You should pick that one. So that's what we did. It's selling out of control on Amazon right now. We had passed Vitalik at some point for new releases. The book actually comes out beginning of January or middle of January. We're going to be doing a book tour. We're going to have a meeting about that next week. Maybe be able to give you guys some potential places we're going to be going. And this is the book that's going to fill the gap in between what people as beginners need to know to just be able to get inside of crypto and understand, be it a good starting block to be able to move forward, whether you want a career in crypto, you want to invest in crypto, you want to get involved in the space, whatever it might be. And we got the link there. You can pin that link for the book. We have it at bitboycrypto.com. All right, let's go ahead and one other thing I want to mention before we jump in here. We got Mike Novogratz here. He says, wish me luck. And yes, it's the first tie I have worn in a long time. And you guys can see, this guy's an actor on Billions, I think. You got that joke? It's a good one. He was on one time. Anyways, back when it was good, when Bobby acted. Oh, never mind. I don't want to spoil that. We have the building back here, the Capitol, as you guys can see. And the Capitol is having a very interesting meeting today. The House Judiciary Committee is actually grilling bank CEOs on the way that they spent their money and the way that they've treated people during these times of inflation. They're going to get grilled, which is really interesting. Why is Mike Novogratz there? I don't have the answer to that question, but he's there the same day this is going on. Is he involved in that? I don't know. Maybe somebody else knows. Somebody said audio version of the book available. They base the audio book on sales for the book the first week. So we will probably be doing, I assume we will be doing an audio book. I'm going to read it, but we got to wait for that deal. I think it comes from a separate company. How far will the Braves go this year? We're going to win the World Series again, obviously. I mean, what kind of fan would I be if I didn't think that? All right. And don't forget, obviously, be like Mike Novogratz. Do you want to be like Mike Novogratz? This guy's a billionaire. All you got to do, follow me on Twitter. Look at that. Follow me on Twitter, just like Mike Novogratz does. All you got to do is go to bitboy_crypto, and you guys can see right there. There we are. Follow me. We got 887.3 thousand. Trying to make our push to 1 million. And don't forget to follow us here on Instagram as well. We are right now at 474,000 followers on Instagram. You get a lot of clips and things like that there. All right, moving on to the markets here. Right now, the market's coming in 21,044 cryptos, 509 exchanges. What's that?
That was funny.
Just how many it is?
Yeah, how many?
It's ridiculous, isn't it? 927 billion on that market cap. We can no longer throw out a trilly. So basically, lowly man for Christ says, since Ben's trip, I got in the habit of not watching. Why did you do that? I decided to check in today and didn't know you were back. Thank you, Jesus. Well, I've been back all week. Guys. I am actually, I'm going to be on London Real with Brian Rose a little bit later today. But no, have a pro read it. Your enunciation is terrible. I literally talk for a living. Watch Frankie's bottom is in video. Did Frankie say the bottom is in? Oh, exactly. He looked at the case for the bottom is in. He doesn't believe that the bottom is in. Correct, Frank? Yes. Yeah. Looked at the case of it being in, and of course, not being in. Yeah. So what was I going to say there? Did I get cut off somewhere? Oh, you don't watch when I'm away. Oh yeah. So I'm actually at 12 o'clock. We're bringing Kelly on today. And then Frank's going to come on and do charts. We're going to do things a little out of order today. and then DZ's going to come in and finish the news. So yeah, you should watch when I'm away. I'm not Jesus. I don't know if you guys know this. I'm not the only way, the life, and the truth when it comes to crypto. You guys can get that through DZ as well. They report on the same stories I do. We have a great team here. Yes, true. No one else that works here is as good looking as me, but you cannot hold that against them. Yeah. Sorry, y'all are hideous. Okay. We got 63 billion in volume. 63 billion in volume. We got Bitcoin dominance up a pretty good bit, 0.5%, 39.6%. ETH dominance down 0.2% or 0.1% from yesterday at 17.7. 7 Paraguays will send you an ETH transaction. We got Bitcoin coming in at $19,243. Ethereum at 1345. Let me refresh, make sure those are the latest numbers. Yes, they are. Cardano slightly up 0.01%, coming in at 44 cents in anticipation tomorrow of the hard fork. Cardano or XRP coming up, still up 17.49% for the week, but down today overall, back below 40 cents, as it's saying. Rumors are flying that Sam Bankman-Fried will be shaving his head. That is why Ben is livid about FTX. Well, I tell you what, if he did shave his head, man, it'd be a really good thing for him. It wouldn't be great for me. It'd be good for him. I would lose some content on the channel. We're not going to get back into that today, but I did email Charles Hoskinson. He hasn't responded yet. Hope he does. I got some other people we're going to be talking to about this as well. Major bad stuff going on with FTX. Major bad stuff. Okay. So let's see here. Charts. Frank is going to do charts. Let's look at the biggest gainers of the day real quick. And then we'll do Twitter. We got Twitter buzz today. Yeah. We got Lido up 3.16%. Neutrino, Kusama, nothing up really big today. Got a lot of big losers. Got Algorand, Helium, Synthetics Curve, all retracing some of the gains they've had recently. But Algorand and Helium still up overall. 7 days, we got Chiliz and XRP and ApeCoin. And the biggest losers, we got Ravencoin down almost 50%. Why do you think? What voice would you like to hear on the audiobook? Who would I like to voice my audiobook if it wasn't me? TJ. Love for TJ to do my audiobook. That would be pretty funny. Maybe my wife can do a women's version. Ravencoin down 50%. Ethereum Classic down big too. Why? I believe this would probably be because a lot of people were anticipating pumps as the merge hit, because these were two of the coins that the miners were moving to, and now we see gigantic drops from them. I don't know if this suggests that, that's going well or not going well. I think this really buy the rumor, sell the news here on these two coins. And what you're seeing is Monero on here somewhere too, because that was the other big one people were going to move to. Now, Monero is way down the list here. I don't even see it on here. It's here somewhere, but there it is. There it is, way down the list. Let's see. It's hard to know exactly where that is. Looks like maybe number 60 or so. Samuel L. Jackson, Christopher Walken. I would love Christopher Walken. Gary Gensler. I would love for Gary Gensler to do my audiobook. Thank you. Gilbert Gottfried. Didn't he die? Oh, so sad. What a great voice that guy had. Tony Robbins would make my book sound awesome. My gosh, come on, man. He's taller than the average American. I don't want that. Yeah. Charles Hoskinson. Look at that. Is that my friend commenting? Or is that another person with the same name? RuPaul. Does that say RuPaul or does that say, are you Paul? No, I am not Paul. I am not Paul. Voice by. Okay. Will there be a Spanish version in your voice too? Man, I tell you what, if I read a Spanish version, that would be a big hit. All right, let's move on to Twitter buzz here. Yeah. We're doing things a little out of order today. All right, here we go. First tweet. The CEO of JP Morgan warned today that capital requirements for large banks pose a significant economic risk. Again, we are now at the tragic comedy phase. I mean, that's funny because that's exactly what I thought is how hilarious. What they're saying here is that there is no reason the banks need to have any money on hand. What? How does that even make sense? If you guys don't know what fractional reserve banking is where banks were required to hold a certain percentage of user funds in-house. Not all of them. I think, what was it, like 2%? Do you know, or was it 10%? It went from 10% to 0% in March of 2020. Interesting time, huh? Interesting time. Janet Yellen, I'd love for Janet Yellen to read it. But the fact is that we got rid of fractional reserve banking, so now the banks are required to have no money. This is what you need to know. If all of us decided today that we all wanted to go to our bank and withdraw 100% of our funds, the banking system would implode. Because not only do they not have enough money on hand to be able to do that, I think what you'll find is a lot of these banks are actually insolvent, like Celsius. They're just better at hiding it. I think that's what you're going to find. Dave Chappelle, I'd like Dave Chappelle to do it. Akon, Rick Ross, Ricky Rose, I'm the biggest boss that you've seen thus far. Okay. Suge Knight? Is Suge Knight still alive? Yeah, didn't Suge Knight die recently? I think so. It would be well, why don't we just go for the stars? Let's get Tupac to do it. Mike Tyson? I like that one. That would be a good one. Okay. John Dean, I don't care if you hate Ripple and despise Brad Garlinghouse. You must be outraged at what the SEC is attempting. This argument literally attempts to allow the SEC to supersede a foreign nation's own sovereignty and regulatory framework. It's insane, and Congress does nothing. Now, let me explain to you a few things about why the SEC is a scam. Number one, the SEC's budget is gigantic. These people get paid a lot of money. And then you got people like William Hinman that get $10 million bribes on top of it. These guys create, through enforcement, a gigantic bubble of money that they bring in. If you compare the budget, we should actually do a video on that, Nick. Let's try to compare the budgets of the CFTC to the SEC, to their budget. Let's do a video on that. I think that would be really great content, because what you'll find is once things moves over to the CFTC, it's a commodity. We know Caroline Pham is over there doing a great job. What happens is it doesn't have the same kind of rigorous enforcement that the SEC has. The SEC is basically Emerson, Georgia. It is basically Dothan, Alabama. It is basically Eufaula, Alabama. What do all of these three things have in common? They have speed traps specifically to raise revenue for their towns. Emerson, Georgia is a place very close to here. And you know, if you're driving on 41, Highway 41, you go through the Emerson city limit sign or township line, whatever you call it on the highway, you slow down, because Emerson, Georgia police are going to pull you over and they're going to give you a ticket. You want to know why? That's how they create revenue for the town. You follow Alabama, Dothan, Alabama, you ever go down to PC, Panama City Beach, the Redneck Riviera? Speaking about STDs out of control, when I was a kid, that was where you went to go get your STDs. Let me tell you, those speed traps down there are serious. I've gotten a couple tickets going down there for my teenage and early 20s, going down there and getting pulled over, because that's what they do. It's how they create revenue. That's the SEC. The SEC is now becoming a speed trap for crypto. They don't care how you made your money. And this is the thing that really makes the SEC like the mafia. They don't care if you did anything wrong. That's why all this stuff against Ian Bellina is trumped up. All this stuff against XRP is trumped up. All the stuff against Library trumped up. All the stuff against Dragon Chain trumped up. Why? All they care about is getting the money in. And the longer they drag this out, the bigger amount of money they're probably going to be able to get in a settlement. I don't think that's true with the Ripple case, but with the others, I believe it is true. They just want money. They are money hungry. And so that's why they're trying to expand their territory. So think about what the SEC is saying here. The SEC is saying that because the majority of nodes are in the United States, that means that all Ethereum transactions take place in the United States. What does this mean? This means any business that has been done at all, any transaction with Ethereum across the world now falls into SEC jurisdiction. And you may be saying to yourself, well, that's weird because the SEC is in the US. How in the world could the SEC go after someone in Singapore for creating a decentralized exchange that they think is fraudulent? Well, it's very easy. Here's what the SEC does. The SEC works hand in hand with the federal government. And what they will do, they have very long arms. They will call the Singaporean government and they will say this: hey, you know that amount of money that we give you every single year, because we give all kinds of countries money, even ones that we hate, we give them money so they'll be our friends? Yeah, if you don't hand this person and this company over to us, we are going to we're going to not give you as much money. And so then you know what the governments do? They hand the people over every single time. That's how the SEC operates. Is that not the mafia? Is that not the exact definition of organized crime? Bribery, threats, ultimatums, veiled threats. Like, we'd hate to give you less money if you don't send that person over our way. How do you think John McAfee got ate up over there? Next one. I still can't fathom how there's less than 9% of the total Bitcoin supply left to mine over the next 118 years, and people are selling it at 19,000. Guys, my favorite number in Bitcoin, I say this all the time. I'm not sweating today. Why are you saying I'm sweating? I'm actually not sweating at all today, you idiot. Speaking of the mafia, but the idea here is this. Bitcoin, 21 million total supply. Now, keep in mind, that number could be changed by consensus down the road. It would be next to impossible, but it's not impossible to do. The majority of the network would have to agree, though, which would probably never happen. But I do have to say, it is actually possible. A lot of people think that it's not. But out of that 21 million total supply, we've already mined like 19.1, 19.2 million of those in 13 years. The next 118 years, less than 2 million mined. It's insane when you think of the compound effect of the halving. That's why we're so big on the on the Bitcoin cycles in the 4-year chart. You cannot undersell the halving. It's impossible. You can't overstate it. You can't undersell it. It's the single most important thing that happens in crypto. If you get catching up to crypto, we're going to talk all about this in the book, why it's so important. It's the fundamental basis of understanding you need to have to make money in crypto. The U.S. does not give Singapore money. I was using that for an example. I'm pretty sure the U.S. does. I think the U.S. gives money to basically everybody except for North Korea, Iran. We give money to Iran now. Thanks, Obama. We give money to Iran. We don't give money to North Korea. I'm not sure what other countries we don't give money to, but it's a very small number. We give money to almost everybody. So Singapore's not on the list. I would be shocked to find that out, but I was using that as an example. I hope you guys understand that. I'm not saying specifically Singapore. A lot of crypto activity takes place in Singapore. That's why I just brought up that country. So, okay, let's go ahead and move. So you got rid of the Glassnode chart segment and you covered people's tweets and said, no, we're actually going to be bringing a lot more of that stuff back in. So just so you know. All right, moving on to the top stories of the day. Let's go ahead and get into the CBD stuff. I want to cover that stuff before we bring Kelly up at least. Bitcoin nuke warning as Fed rate hike decision looms. Dollar index hits 20-year high. So this is just a little bit more on the FOMC meeting today. It had a weak rebound. As we wait the Fed rate decision, that comes, I think, at 2 today. Federal Reserve is poised to discuss how far it could raise its benchmark. Interestingly, the markets expect the central bank to raise rates by 75 or 100. The fact that 100 has been pushed out so far at this point, or it's being pushed out so much, it really leads me to believe that 75 is going to be the number, but, we certainly could see something different. Posty XBT here, he talks about we could get a pump. If we get 100, it would nuke support for good. This is exactly what I'm telling you, but I don't think we're going to see it. I think right now it's a dangerous spot to be. Well, I'll tell you what I would. If you're leverage trading and you're on 2 different sites, I would actually consider shorting and longing today with very tight stop losses because it's going to move one way or the other. But it's schlong. Go schlong. I like that. But I think it's 50-50 here on which way it goes. No, I'm going to say it's more 80% probably it goes up, 20% it goes down. Because I think there's probably about a 20% they'll do a 100-point raise. I think the gambling odds kind of line up with that as well. But if you hit that short, it's going to, I think we'll probably hit a new low very soon, if not today, tomorrow, if it is 100 points. All right, how long do you have to buy crypto before it explodes? I think you probably have at least a year and a half. No. Yeah, at least a year and a half, maybe longer. Okay, so there we go. We know that's coming in. Let's talk about the stablecoin stuff. I really want to get to this. U.S. stock futures post moderate gains after a Fed decision and Putin escalating war footing. We know that's going on as well. Putin's going to be talking today, so that could have some impacts. CBDC Wars. Why the U.S. must create its own stablecoin to compete with China. Now, here's some interesting stuff. We already have one. It's called USDC, and I think that's what it's going to end up being. The United States is embarking on a campaign towards the introduction of a CBDC, or central bank currency, digital currency. As part of the White House's first ever comprehensive framework, Treasury Department is now suggesting the creation of a national stablecoin, or CBDC. Tuesday's hearing, titled Under the Radar, Alternative Payment Systems and National Security Impacts of Their Growth, was hosted by the U.S. House Subcommittee on National Security, International Development, and Monetary Policy. Michael San Nicolas, a representative from Guam, requested an on-the-record vote among the panel of witnesses to determine the degree to which the U.S. government needs to develop a digital currency. Right now, they're talking about how China is currently winning in the U.S. because they have a digital yuan. I would say that's not actually true. Just because they have one, the people there absolutely hate it. They don't like using it. So I think that what we could potentially see is, the U.S. version get a lot more favorability. I think that what is going to happen, says Michael Vick is his fave. You're talking about my favorite football player of all time? Man, I loved Michael Vick. That's for sure. Hey, I got a new man crush, though. I got to tell you, Josh Allen. Woo! Man, I tell you what. I wouldn't kiss that man on the lips, man, but I'd take a hug from him. Josh Allen is a stud. Josh Allen is, I like he plays with a chip on his shoulder. He is playing freaking angry, and I love that. Josh Allen is a great quarterback, and I think the Bills are going to win the Super Bowl this year, barring tragic injury to, like if Stephon Diggs got hurt or, Von Miller got hurt. I mean, they have the best offense and defense. I don't think it's bar none. Scary as crap. I saw Case Keenum playing quarterback for them in the third quarter. That'll tell you everything you need to know. Case Keenum. Maybe better than Kirk Cousins. I don't know. But anyway, so then we got that going on. We also have this going on. This is the more important thing. This is what I really want to talk about here. Stablecoin regulation looms large in bill before U.S. Congress. Algo version space ban. And I will tell you, I think that when it comes to this, I think the algorithmic stablecoins are not good. But I also don't think that we need the government banning them. I think that's a really bad way to go. It stifles innovation. While its final version is still very much unclear, the draft stablecoin bill in the U.S. House of Representatives would have reportedly placed a 2-year ban on algorithmic stablecoins for 2 years. It's not permanent, so that's at least one good thing. Latest draft legislation would order a study on Terra-like or algorithmic, the UST is what it's talking about, tokens to be done by the U.S. Treasury Department in consultation with the Federal Reserve, the OCC, the SEC, and the FDIC. Importantly, the terms of the proposal could change before the world sees its final version. So I think we're going to see this we're going to see this come to fruition. I hope it's not what it's going to, I hope they don't do the all-out ban. Judge order is tethered to produce financial records proving USDT backing. I think they've already done that many times, but whatever. So right now, what I want to do is I want to bring on Kelly. Now, if you guys don't know Kelly Callum, he had worked previously on Crypto Jeb channel. Obviously, they've rebranded and opened up an opportunity for him to come over to us. He's going to be a great part of the team. He does a lot of management here with stuff we're doing internally at the channel. But he's a smart guy, and he's got a lot to add when it comes to showing you guys on-chain analytics data. He loves data. That's something we feel like this channel has been lacking a little bit, is an emphasis on that. Somebody mentioned it earlier. We don't really show the Glassnode charts a lot anymore. So Kelly he's also now in charge of our BitLab Academy. Now, BitLab Academy is the education wing of what we do here. We're revamping it. He showed me the plan for it yesterday. It is going to be, bar none, the greatest academy in all of crypto. It's not even going to be close. And so we're going to be actually doing a lot more videos on BitLab coming up. So I'll let Kelly come on up. He can tell you a little bit more about himself. And then he's got some stuff that he wants to show you guys. Got to head on over to London Real. Frank's going to come up next to do charts after this. And then Dee's coming on. I'll see you all tomorrow.
Thank you, brother. Yep. Man, I'm just happy to be here. Thank you again, Ben. Thank you to the whole BitLab, BitLab I'm building, rebuilding, to the BitBoy Crypto team. I also want to shout out my first family in crypto, the Crypto Jeb team, now Coffee and Crypto. They're still, dear friends and family of mine. And I'll be back and forth, doing some guest spots on there as well. But I do want to reemphasize, we are completely redoing BitLab Academy. What it is now, don't even consider it. It's going to be a whole new website, whole new everything. So with that being said, the whole purpose of this segment right here, which we will be doing regularly, is we need to stop being so focused on these price swings. The price swings only give you, basically technical analysis, entry points and exit points. But when you're looking at the macro, when you're looking at the data about how you should feel about what's happening in the market, you need to look at the data so you can understand what's happening fundamentally. So with that being said, we can jump to my chart here. And we can see right here this is basically outlines exactly what Ben was talking about earlier and what a lot of people are looking at in the markets, where the 13.5 level, I made this on-chain data metric here, which is essentially a fib of all these bands are fibs of the realized price. And so this area right here, the 0.618 of the realized price, is exactly in that region, that 13.2, 13.5 area. And essentially anywhere that we're at in this region below the realized price, anywhere below the realized price really starts becoming a great, do I need to be a little louder?
Sometimes we forget, we get in our bubble. What is realized price?
Oh, what is realized price? It's when you realize that there's price on the chart. No, realized price is essentially the aggregate average of all the Bitcoin that has been the last time it has moved to when it's been sold. So you're basically getting the average of what all Bitcoin having been sold is compared to where it was bought. So you're getting a real, basically fundamental outlook of exactly what I want to call it true value, but the fundamental true value of where the price is. So when you're below it, it means you're fundamentally undervalued. When you're above it, you're technically overvalued. And I'm going to get more into that here in a second. Now, when we move on to this next chart here, we can see that let me go back one. Right here, I do want to point out, we do have the short-term holder cost basis, which is really, really I consider it the fundamental difference if you're in a bull market or a bear market. And the reason that is because when you're below the cost basis, which is essentially the realized price for short-term holders, you can see here on this chart, anytime we break through this pink line, which is a short-term holder cost basis, it launches into a massive bull trend. When we break below it, we have a small bear market, and vice versa, so on and so forth. And we are getting pinched right here, right below this short-term holder cost basis, and right above this essentially asymmetric risk buy zone. So anywhere below this, we're looking for those entries. And now that doesn't mean you just get the entries right when you get below that line, but you look at further data. So when we go further here, we can see here, this is essentially the weight between the long-term holders and the short-term holders. This is realized the R hodl or the RODL, depending on how you want to call it. And it's weighing the 1 week holders versus the 1 to 2 year holders. And when you get this very low, that means there's basically a lot more long-term holders and short-term holders. When you get really high, there's a lot more short-term holders than long-term holders. And as you can see here, you don't need to necessarily find the exact point to find your entry, but you can start to identify as soon as we break into this lower region here, below into this green zone. I wouldn't necessarily call that an immediate buy opportunity, but that's when you start looking at all the other data points, the technical analysis, which we're going to go into in a second with Frankie. But as soon as we get in this region, you can start then looking at the, laser focus on the technical analysis, find those entries, find those spots that you can DCA. Now, the other thing I do want to show you here is we don't need to just look at the fundamental metrics of holders, but we also want to see what's going on with miners. And this is a very important metric that I look at in on-chain. This is the Puel multiple made by David Puel. And we can see here that this basically has fallen a very parallel channel on both of these massive trends. And this is basically the previous all-time high through the next all-time high to that all-time high's next bear market. And we're following that same path here, and we've already hit this bottom. I'm not saying that we can't go lower, but this supports the same chart here that we are in essentially an area that we should be trying to identify where our entries are. Could it go lower? Absolutely. But as I was talking with Frankie earlier, if it doesn't go lower, then you're going to end up buying in at a much higher point. So that's why this strategy of DCAing is so important. And the last thing I do want to show, although this minor metric is bullish, at the same time, you have to find stuff that disproves your thesis, so at least you can make sure that you have good risk management. And this is here, the market cap to thermocap. This basically is measuring the security spend, that like how much money is getting paid out to miners, and how far away the realized the market cap is from that. And we can see here, this has gone much lower, and this is adjusted over time for supply too. So this
Hey, Kelly.
Yes, sir.
What's the thermocap? Can you explain what that means?
The thermocap is, that's what I was just saying. The thermocap is the aggregate security spend. The security spend is a Puel multiple. The thermocap is the aggregate amount of revenue that's paid to miners. And so when the price is above it, it's basically very profitable for miners. When it's below it, it's not as profitable, and there's also not as much revenue going out. And as we can see right here, this still has lower to go. So I hate to say it, but there are very bullish metrics and very, I don't want to say bearish, but still could go lower metrics on on-chain. But this is the whole point of this whole segment here. The point of on-chain isn't to find your entries when you're trading, when you're investing. The point of on-chain is to find the opportune times to start looking for those entries or start looking for those exits, because all indicators, all tools that we use in investing and trading, the point of them is to use them in combination with other tools so that we can make the best choices. So with that, I'm going to throw it to Frankie now, because now this is where we see the other half of this, where we're looking at the technical analysis. So on to you, Mr. Frank.
Thanks, Kelly. Let's give it up for Kelly.
Yeah, let's go. Show some love for Kelly in the chat. That was some serious stuff. Also, let me know in chat if you guys want to see Kelly on my channel and see me and Kelly have a nice conversation. Would definitely look forward to doing that with Kelly. So show some love for him in the chat. That was some really, really good stuff. And before we jump right into the actual charts, I do just want to say, I think a lot of what he just said was really important, because a lot of people, everybody, I just saw in chat somebody said, when 15K. And I think a lot of people are putting a lot of emphasis on when is the next leg down? Are we getting the next leg down? And basically what they're doing and why they're asking that question, in my eyes, is probably because they're waiting to buy in, right? And they don't want to buy in here if it's going to go lower. And I'm just going to tell you right now, just like Kelly was saying, DCA is the way. Right now, I am DCAing into the market at these prices in case 17.5 was the bottom. And whoever said it in chat before, if you guys want to check out my Is the Bottom In video, we take a look at the possibility of the bottom actually being in. And there's a good amount of evidence that 17.5, 17.6 could be the actual bottom. But we're at that point where, we have gotten that big capitulation down, and now we're starting to kind of range sideways. And whether we get that next leg down or not, you want to be exposing yourself to the market. There's a ton of we are below that 200-week moving average. That has historically been the best time to buy Bitcoin. The money flow on Market Cypher B is in the red on the weekly. That's historically been the best time to buy Bitcoin. There are so many things that are saying it is time to DCA. And if you're not DCAing right now and you are waiting for that second leg down and you don't get it, like Kelly said, you're gonna see it pump and you're like, no, it'll go lower. It'll go lower. And you're going to wind up buying on the way up, and that's not what you want to do. My plan right now is DCAing. I'm DCAing in currently, and if we get that next leg down, maybe I'll put a little bit bigger of a bulk in. But we're at the point where we are low enough, in my personal opinions and not financial advice. It's low enough for me to DCA in, and if we get that next leg down, I'll just buy more. So, it's not the best idea to try to snipe the exact bottom, especially when you're looking at long-term investments. So just remember, DCA is the way. And with that being said, let's go ahead and jump into the charts here, guys. Now, obviously, we do have the Fed news coming out today, so very, very volatile day is to be expected. And I will say this. Obviously, if we get 100 points, it's going to absolutely nuke. If we get 75, I think it's mostly going to be priced in at this point. So if we get anything better than 100 basis points is most likely going to give us somewhat of a pump here. And there are some things on the chart that are backing that up. Now, you want to remember, obviously we bring this up all the time. We do have that yellow X still printing on the weekly time frame here, and not only on the weekly, we also have it on the 6-day, the 5-day, and it is, I believe, confirmed on the 4-day. So we want to remember that these bearish signs are popping up on the higher time frames, but forget about that right now, because we can easily see pumps on the lower time frames, even if those bearish signals are still there. So just want to remember that. I want to mention it. Just know that those bearish signals are there, but if we come down here to the lower time frames, and I will say this again, typically I don't trade these Fed meetings because, there's so much volatility. It's hard to call, right? But for today, I will say, sometimes when you see, like, for example, right here, I came on the live stream, and, when you see a huge bearish divergence into key resistance like this, you can see that with the rising price, with the falling momentum. That's pretty easy to be like, hey, guys, crazy bearish divergence on the 4-hour, probably going to get nuked, probably going to dump from here. That's easy to call and, like, fully say this is bearish looking, and say, you could easily say what to expect. But with today's meeting, I will say it's very, it's either going to pump or dump, and it's very, very hard to predict. But I'll try to give you guys some clarity right now. Number one thing you want to realize is we are still sitting at key support, right? So not the best time to get super bearish and FOMO into shorts right at support, because if it comes in at 75 basis points, and we get a rip, it would make a lot of sense to, obviously have this act as support and get that big move up. Another thing that would support a move up would be right here. Your money flow on the 2 hour and the 1 hour are coming up very nicely. This looks very good. It looks like they're going to cross over into the green. You know, so we could easily potentially come down, touch that value area low one more time, and then, you know, by the time that happens, maybe you know, we get that news and we potentially get that rip up. So 1 and 2 hour would be your bullish case with those money flow crossovers looking like they want to happen. Also, your 90-minute is starting to curve up, and your 30-minute is also getting very close to crossing over into the green. And with that, sure, pow, shout out to Tom Crown, guys. But with that money flow crossover on the 30-minute right here, you can see on these higher hourly time frames, this is so 90-minute money flow starting to curve up. Your 30-minute money flow looking for a crossover, and your 1 and 2 hour money flow is also coming up. Now, if you come to the higher hourly time frames, you can see we do have a confirmed green dot here on the 8 hour, the 6 hour, and your 4 hour obviously starting to roll over here a little bit. But these higher hourly timeframes, 10-hour green dot starting to print, your 12-hour also printing a green dot, and as long as it didn't disappear, your 16-hour is also printing a green dot. So what this does is it does set us up if, and again, guys, it's very, you know, it could pump or dump here. I hate saying that, talking out of both sides of your mouths, but if you're in this market, you know, especially with these Fed meetings, you know, things get volatile. So I will say that the bullish case with those money flow crossovers into the green happening on multiple medium to lower time frames with those higher hourly time frame green dots does have the potential to pump us up. But just remember, if it comes out at 100 points, it's probably going to get pretty ugly. And before I jump off, I'll just give you guys some levels to watch. They basically remain the same as they've been. If we get a pump up, I would be looking at this area for your first level of resistance. You have a little confluence between this point of control and this spider line, and that is coming in at about 19,666. Yikes. But yeah, and then right after that, we, you know, obviously, if we do get a bounce off of this value area low, we would be expecting to move our way up to this POC coming in at about 20,525. That's how volume profiles work. Typically, if you hold the value area low as support, you will typically move your way up to the POC, probably going to get some turbulence around this spider line. Now, if that Fed news comes out and it winds up being much worse than is expected, then and we wind up losing the value area low, that first major level of support, I do believe we have a spider line. Yeah, we do have a spider line right here coming in at about 18,475 or 18,500. But that next major level of support is going to be the 786 fib level right here at about 17,668. So again, guys, you know, with the Fed news, it's really, really hard to give you a decisive, you know, bullish or bearish outcome here. But I will say, if it comes out a little better than expected, you know, we are set up with those higher hourly timeframes with the green dots and the money flow, and the money flow coming up on the lower timeframes. Also, the DXY has actually just broken out of its current level of resistance and is flipping it to support. So that's a little more on the bearish side. So there's mixed signals on the charts. For me, you know, I'm playing it really safe today. Tight stop losses on the trades that I'm already in, because that Fed news can get very volatile. So be careful out there, guys. That's all I got for you. Don't forget to show Kelly some love in the chat. Shout out to the Candle Mafia. Bing bong. Shout out DZ.
All right, Frank, can you help us out and go back to your roots? Help us with the camera here. We got a little, no, not to zoom out to show off the JPEG Junkies merch, although we do love the JPEG Junkies here. Man, look at the clean logo. Clean logo, man. I like it. Launching October 1st, 69 ADA, 6,000 of them. It's going to be big. We just dropped a video going over the utility. But all right, let's get into the stories. Hit that like button if you're ready for us to talk about the news. Go ahead, smash it. DZ, getting a little tall. It's get off the milk carton. Well, I'm lactose intolerant. Haha, joke's on you. You don't want to ride with me in the same car if I just had a milkshake. That's all I'm going to say. If you don't know what lactose intolerance is, it's pain, and there's more pain for the people around you. All right, let's. We're going to get it. Wait a minute. Yeah, no, we got Nick fixing the camera. It's been so long since Frankie's held a camera. You know, he knows candles. He knows charts. He just doesn't know cameras. It's okay. It's okay. We got there in the end. All right, let's talk about the stock market futures here. The futures post moderate gain. No, wait, is this the one Ben did? I was I was doing some posting for the junkies here.
He's in the OpenSea Arbitrum thing.
Okay, I see OP. All right, right here. Yeah. All right, this is where we start. All right,
Yep.
OpenSea NFT Marketplace welcomes Arbitrum support to onboard new collections. So this is now their fourth blockchain that they're adding. They have Polygon, they have Solana. No one uses it though. Everyone's still on Magic Eden here. OpenSea will soon support popular collections like Smallverse, the GMX Blueberry Club, and Diamond Pepes by DopeX_IO. Arbitrum NFT support going live today on OpenSea, where creators are advised to set their creator fees before any transactions occur. According to Arbitrum One portal, there are 22 live NFT projects on Arbitrum that will be listed on OpenSea. In April of this year, Nansen confirmed a 200% year-on-year growth in Arbitrum NFT users. In the same period, the top 20 wallets saw a 10,000% return on investment. So we got the same 14 people. Now it's 28 people. And those top 20 wallets feeling a really good pump. No, the Arbitrum is a good ecosystem. I see them on Twitter every now and then. Maybe I'll look into that coin. I just bought some Near. Is Arbitrum on your radar? Not at all for me either. I'll be honest. I'm not here to like say, oh, maybe I'm sleeping on it. Let me know. Let us know in the comments what you feel about it. We're going to use your comments as my entirety of whether or not I'm going to jump in on it. The advantage of having multi-chain marketplace is that there's a possibility of users trading NFTs across different blockchains and enhancing the NFT liquidity and improving the value. Also, you could choose which blockchain best suits their budgets. Man, it's I really wish someone would open a marketplace with Cardano support as well as Ethereum and Solana. If only someone could come and save the day, that would be huge. JPEG Store, big day in Cardano NFTs. They went down yesterday, and they had multiple hours of downtime, and it was rough, man. It was rough. People really wanted DZ Milk Crate Challenge in the Atlanta Hood. I don't know if I'll be shooting that one, but maybe man on the street stuff. Maybe, I don't know. Might be entertaining. All right, the reason behind Ethereum's decline. Look at this number. ETH miners dump 17,000 ETH in 1 week. That's a lot. It's currently trading at 1,300, down about 2% in the last 24 hours. This is looks like probably exits from maybe the miners here. Yeah, sold nearly 17,000 ETH in the last 7 days. Right now, about a week ago, trading 1,600. You end up putting that much sell pressure out there, you are going to have that price decline quite a bit. So are you surprised that the miners dropped that much ETH? I mean, I'm surprised they didn't do it weeks ago. Okay, you know what? I'm gonna go ahead and paint a scenario here. I think they're jaded. They're jaded. They're a jaded lover. They're a jilted lover. They're mining it sometimes for probably some of these people many, many years. Some equipment, it's been battle tested. It's tried and true. And they wake up in the morning, it's mining their Ethereum. They go to sleep at night, it's mining their Ethereum. And then all of a sudden, it gets turned off. You can't help but have some emotional connection there. And I feel like, there's probably at least one miner who had like a meltdown scene from a movie where they're like pulling wires and kicking things. I'm sure there's at least one. He's like, I hate Vitalik. Maybe there'll be a movie of that. Let's put up a scene. Let's rough draft a scene here. I think we can get going. All right, Arbitrum, back to Arbitrum. Rewards hacker with 400 ETH for detecting a critical $400 million vulnerability here. One of the more popular layer 2 solutions for Ethereum. They paid out 400 ETH to the white hat hacker who found a vulnerability in the code. Riptide decided to report the vulnerability and apply for a reward instead, which to their surprise was just 400 ETH instead of the $2 million reward Arbitrum offered as its maximum tier. Upon receiving the reward, he argued that it was not in line with the importance of the bug and the risk it entailed. This is a slippery slope. You don't reward them enough. Maybe the next time they don't become a white hat hacker there. Independent auditing is a huge importance of the crypto ecosystem. Over the course of the year, several platforms have opted to pay out bounties to the white hat hackers who report potential vulnerabilities in their code or smart contracts. Coinbase has paid the largest bounty in history, and they gave out $250,000 to a hacker named Tree of Alpha. If that's not like the stereotypical hacker in a movie, living in a basement, 7 screens up, it's all dark. No, you yeah, that's like right out of central casting when it comes to that name.
Underneath of him?
The Tree of
Mother, bathroom.
What are the odds that he's a real alpha? What is a real alpha? Who knows? I don't know. The internet says Andrew Tate has the worst advice or the best advice. Is it somewhere in the middle? Who knows?
Is he an alpha or a sigma?
No, is he the ultimate beta? All right. The reason behind, all right, we already did that one here. Let's move on. All right. I thought, I was like, where's the highlighting? Usually they're on point with the highlighting. It's because the article was up twice. You know what? We got a strong team. I take the blame on that one. When Ethereum options show continuing bullish bias, is it time to DCA into ETH here? It's been a long time since I DCA'd into ETH, I'll be honest. The options market shows continued strong appetite for bullish bets on ETH among traders despite the falling price. The question now is this a sign that smart money is positioning for a future rally? And if now is a good time to start DCAing into ETH, it appears that the markets remain heavily utilized, levered up, and speculating on further upside despite a 22% price correction. The crypto analytics firm wrote in the report, it's almost like people want to catch a falling knife here. The ETH spot prices now as low as they are, it seems that starting to DCA into ETH could pay off in the long run. With the merge already behind us and widely deemed a success, is it really so surprising that sophisticated option traders have already positioned themselves for a rally? I mean, I think this is, Frank covers a lot of it. We're in oversold on some time frames. We're getting good support. Kelly covered the, possible bottom. I know that was Bitcoin, but Bitcoin kind of runs the show. So I'm not buying ETH. I'm buying some more speculative plays. I kind of went over my last purchase. It was near, didn't buy too much, a lot for me though. This Friday, I'll probably buy some more coins. ETH, I have some ETH. ETH is my biggest bag. I want to get some 50Xs, some 20Xs, some 10Xs, and I don't think ETH can really give a 10X. I think 4X, 5X, certainly in the cards, but I'm hungry. I'm greedy, and I'm also hedging my bets. Most of my money is in what I consider safer cryptos. ETH's probably my number one bag. Cardano's probably my number two. I'm pretty happy with having those as my largest allocation. Also, you know what? Maybe I got to get some Bitcoin. I got to get more Bitcoin. It's time. I sold it all. I didn't do sell in May, walk away. I can't remember where I took my profit or when, but it was before and
Well, that's smart.
March, April-ish. Yeah, I got in cheap. I got out. I wish I would have held on a little bit longer, and I wish I would have bought more in June and July. I bought a little bit, sold pretty much all that October, November, December, but that was to pay for a home. It was going somewhere. I was getting that digital gold. I was getting that granted on Manhattan and buying dirt in Dallas, Georgia instead. All right.
Everyone should have at least one Bitcoin, right? At least one.
No, because that means they've inflated the supply. Should everyone have at least one Bitcoin?
I
No,
see
but
what you
everyone
did
should
there.
have 0.1. No, that's only 210 million. 21. Let's just go up to 21 billion. Yeah, everyone should have 1,000th. Ugh. Yeah, there really isn't enough Bitcoin for all the people in the world. Oh my God, hold on. I'm gonna open up Coinbase. I'm market buying now. Ding, just happened. All right, let's speaking of Cardano, let's talk about the Vassal upgrade. The biggest upgrade in a long time for Cardano is happening tomorrow. Here is what you need to know ahead of the upgrade. The company, and of course we're talking about IOHK, the parent organization, pointed out that core engineering teams involved have carried out intensive testing and integration efforts to guarantee a positive outcome, IOHK said in a blog post published on the 16th. Let me just say this about Cardano. For them to come out and say the core engineering team, for them to go out on the ledge here and say, I'm predicting success. If you know anything about the crypto space, when it comes to Solana, Ethereum, Cardano devs are the least likely to say, hey, everything's going to be fine. This is moon, scenario here. Get ready, buckle up. No, Cardano devs are known for being the, well, actually, guys. And the well, actually, when that person's bullish, when that person's saying, I really am believing a positive outcome, that's when I feel real bullish. So I'm putting really high odds of success for the Vassal upgrade with that response there. In particular, the upgrade is expected to enhance Cardano's smart contract through Plutus V2. The update is set to improve the efficiency of the smart contract platform. And as reported on the 19th, they're onboarding 5 new Plutus scripts daily. Overall, the number of smart contracts on the platform surpassed the 3,000 mark for the first time in August. After the upgrade on the 22nd, they also noted there would be a pre-production environment set on the 24th. During the event, new Plutus features and cost models will be available in the environment before transitioning to the mainnet on the 27th here. You see upgrade 13th, 19th, 22nd. This is the big moment. Pre-production on the 24th. And then mainnet on the 27th. Hoskinson is blasting individuals who question the slow progress. However, he maintained that there was a need to conduct further tests to ensure the upgrade ran smoothly. I am not against tests. I'm not against moving slowly when it comes to Cardano. I don't think the community would accept failure. I don't think the community would react well to failure compared to Solana. Solana goes down, no one cares. Cardano does anything. I think Cardano would have a little bit more of a stringent reaction, is going to how I'm saying. How much lunk am I holding? Don't lie. 0. 0. Did I miss some pumps? Sure. Did I miss some dumps? Yes.
Hey,
All right.
Daisy, do you think that Cardano community feels more pressure to have a flawless execution now that the ETH merge went well?
Yes, I mean exactly. That is a good point there. It's like if you're on a television network, I'm gonna give you a little TV reference here because those that don't know Nick, he's been on like 2 Super Bowl commercials. He like wrote a Super Bowl commercial. He's got like a storied past here. If you have a sitcom and it's a smashing success on Monday, and you're the sitcom premiering on Tuesday, there's a lot more pressure. There's a lot more eyeballs on you, and there's a lot more higher set of expectations here. And yeah, I think that's a good point. Now that Ethereum went off smoothly, the spotlight is on Cardano. So now, if there is a hiccup, even if it's a small one, it's going to be more of a gotcha, you suck. So they're really going to have to rock it, and they're going to have to do a good job. But I'm bullish on it. All right, blockchain developer activity is indeed a measure of crypto success. The number of weekly active blockchain developers is down more than 26% over the past 3 months. However, many attempt to downplay the news. Most notably, many claim that the loss of tourist builders and tourist investors was no loss at all, as it will allow the industry to better focus on real projects. I think a lot of that is just NFT wave. The hype is over, so a lot of people gave up on that. There needs to be a movement towards greater security. Hold on, let me move that. Most definitely. But to have their ideas, which they then bring to fruition, is a great thing. The free market decides what ideas have value. That's the great benefit to decentralization. The people decide where there's value. However, governments around the world are watching where the US and UK go from here. As the regulatory environment shifts, you'll begin to see developer activity return to normal levels. This will bring prosperity back to the industry. You got to be careful with GitHub and admissions and GitHub interactions and how much code, because that can be gamed. We saw it with the Solana, the 2 brothers, where they pretended to be multiple people. Oh my God, look at all this activity, and it was just 2 people. And so you got to be careful with that metric. It can be gamed, but you can't game dApps being created. You can't game, people actually using something when it comes to, say, a marketplace but smart contracts. You have one whale to pretend to be 17 people. But it's going to be a little bit harder when it's, a widely used app. Let's just say Steppen. It'd be a lot harder to game Steppen. Although we've all seen the picture of the guy in China with the bicycle with like 37 iPhones connected to the handlebars. You can game it to some level, but not to the extent of with like smart contracts. You ready for XRP news?
No.
XRP Army.
Ugh.
Are y'all here? And on the topic, we're down to XRP. Those are the 2
Oh
ADA.
my gosh.
Oh, geez.
I'm
You
the
know what,
worst.
though? It's okay. It's okay. You're going to
we
get in
just
the
end
hang
the
of
show?
It's not a Super Bowl commercial, so, but can
Why
we
are you
get your
bringing that up?
attention here?
That's weird. Why are you
All right. XRP. Yeah, I'm sorry. I'm not Mr. Doritos, the people you're used to working with here.
doxing me?
XRP gains 20% in a week as $3 billion flows into the market cap despite the prolonged SEC lawsuit. They maintain the strength and establish a foothold above the 40 cents resistance zone, in contrast to Bitcoin and the majority of alts, which are now confronting significant obstacles. If you didn't watch ATB last night, we talk about the levels, we talk about the support and the resistance. You can see it. No, that's... what is this, the market cap? What is this in billion? Yeah, okay, yeah. This is a little bit different than the price chart, but this is essentially where the support and resistance line was. It's a little bit cleaner on the price chart, but yeah, it was a hard rejection, blasted through, came back down, and tested as support there. According to the price analysis, the token's price rebounded from the last drop and is currently trading with the bullish bias. The bulls are seeking to break through the resistance, and if they're successful, may potentially aim for highs of 48 in the near future. What's funny is this drop happened after ATB, and if you would have took the information given in that show, set a little buy order there. I'm not saying leverage trade, people, but maybe if you wanted to, that's some pretty good gain. So if anyone listened to that, congrats on the gains. Now, of course, Ripple Labs is joining efforts for a greener future along with hundreds of other businesses, with Ripple announcing on the 20th that it has signed the Climate Pledge, thus joining more than 375 other businesses that are pledging to achieve net zero carbon emissions by 2040 to create a more sustainable future. Many would say carbon-free future is a little bit more than 18 years away, 8 years away, but we'll see. We're working towards it, and that's a good thing. What was that poll? The XRP. It looks like 53% here. What is the? Let me guess. That was your question.
Yes, it was.
Yeah, it has the telltale signs.
Yes.
All right. Man, you should have seen his Dorito commercial. It got banned. All right. You can only watch it on Rumble. All right. Ripple and Armin van Buren, label partners and game of the top XRPL project. We are super ready for this upgrade. The modular ecosystem has announced a partnership with Ripple Armada, the music label of Armin van Buren and Stinger, along with the release of its highly awaited free-to-play battle royale game, Maladroid. So it's the first XRPL-based play-to-win multiplayer game with rewards in XRP, OXP, and native token that they have, and it's going to be hosted on the XRPL. What do you think of Twitch banning gambling? I don't know if you heard about that. Breaking news. Also, another topic that we covered this week. We talked about gambling. YouTube has a lot stronger stance on it, but yeah, they just came out and said no more gambling, no more stake.com. I think crypto had a little bit to do with that. Crypto kind of enabled it for these U.S. citizens. Crypto equals freedom, and they didn't like the freedom. And I'm not saying 13-year-olds in 8th grade need to be gambling on, stake.com, but, I feel like people should be able to do what they want with their money. We can go buy a scratch-off ticket.
Yep.
So what's the big difference there? Really isn't one. And here's the title. Actually, I didn't even know this was going to be up here. Yeah, crypto gambling live streams to be banned from Twitch after a 200K scam. And the scam, I looked into it, didn't seem to be too much of a scam, but yeah, they had actually banned affiliate links and all that, but people were basically just going around it, and it was still the Wild West when it comes to that. Coinbase to hand out ENS. I did want to look at that real quick. Hand out ENS usernames to simplify wallet transactions. You can get a username through the browser extension and use it to send and receive crypto tokens instead of the 0x traditional addresses we see. Hey, hit that like button if you got an ENS. Nick, do you have an ENS?
Absolutely.
All right, what do you have?
My last name.
Cool,
and then
cool.
a couple other ones.
Nice. Yeah, I got DZ. I have ADA handles. Those who don't know, ADA handles is probably, if you want some like 3-digit, 4-digit, that's going to be a lot cheaper than Solana or Ethereum. But that thing is a very speculative market there. The ENS handles, so you gotta research, you gotta deep dive into it. Do we have any? Those are some of the quick hits. Do we have any Q&A? I do like Mr. Techno Goody. Why gamble when you can buy crypto? Hey, same thing. I think that's a good point there. That's all investing, but we're cranked up a little bit when it comes to crypto for sure. FOMC live stream. Let's give a little shout out to Tom Crown. He live streams the FOMC every time, every 5 weeks, 6 weeks, something like that. So shout out to Tom there. Any other questions here?
No, I actually forgot to ask for Q&A.
All good. Twitch, worst streaming service due to centralized trash management. I wasn't a fan of the management. Before I was here at BitBoy Crypto, I was a professional Magic the Gathering player. I streamed on Twitch. I was on a team. I did all this stuff. And yeah, I wasn't a big fan of the management. In fact, they had one person who was like a deer. It's weird. It's just, yeah, I don't even want to go in there because I might get attacked. But yeah,
who has strong opinions?
It's odd.
On that.
It's
yeah,
odd.
Dr. Disrespect has some opinions on that.
Yeah. I agree with Dr. Disrespect when it comes to his opinion with Twitch. I don't agree with his opinion when it comes to how to treat your partner. And shout out to Alex. She's in traffic court today. Good luck, Alex. I'm giving you everybody give her some good vibes. Hit that like button if you want that speeding ticket to get dismissed here. But
That's right.
All right, that is all we got time for. We'll be back later. Bye Twitch. Bye YouTube. Bye. I guess TikTok. I guess TikTok. All right, we give TikTok some love too. All right, DZ is a nerd. Confirmed. That's all I got. I'm gonna go nerd out. I'm gonna go read some academic papers on Cardano. Later on, BitSquad. DZ out.